Hello, welcome to the Action Brick. Today I'm going to be doing a mock presentation on this LEGO Clash Royale arena. Now, if you saw part 1 of my Clash Royale series, you'll know that I actually only did like about half of the characters in that video, and I only did half of the arena. However, in this video I have created the entire arena, the red and the blue side, and I have created a whole army of characters that weren't in part 1. So if you would like to see the characters in part 1, of course there will be a link in the description, but without further ado, let's go take a look at these new characters. Our first two minifigures are the kings. These are the players of Clash Royale. So basically what I did was I took the king from minifigure series 13 and I painted the beard and hair black, and I also added a border around the crown to give it that red and blue look. So he has a red cape. This king has a blue Vitruvius cape. Yeah, that was pretty much the only blue cape I had. But anyways, those are the kings. Our next two characters are the Valkyrie and the Witch. Now the Valkyrie is actually very simple. You can pretty much take anything that it looks medieval and make that her torso. In this case I used a Gungan torso, which is actually from Star Wars, not medieval, what am I saying? But anyways, she also has a double-bladed axe and a battle-scarred angry face. And also the Witch is actually a very interesting character. She's nearly completely customized. If you want to make your own Witch, I recommend that you use this as the leg piece. This is sort of like a ghost torso, sorry, not torso, leg piece that came in some of the Halloween minifigure sets. So that's the cheapest way to get them, but I think they work really well to get that magic creepy effect. And by the way, here's Larry. Next we have one of the most requested troops for this video, and that is the Prince. Now if I take off his helmet, you can see all the little details that are on this helmet. I used electric tape actually for these lines right here, and basically that is a motorcycle helmet that I drilled a hole in the top so I could put this feather in, and yeah, it can open and close, and just put this back on the knight's head. Now this horse is actually very hard to design. I was debating on whether I should make his legs movable, but I thought that making the head right and making sure that the Prince could fit on and getting all of that was more important. So yeah, so there is the Prince. Let's go take a look at the Prince when he is riding. There's the Prince when he is on the horse. I tried to make this lance as best as I could, but yeah, there is the Prince. Now if you have a Prince, you also have to have a Dark Prince. So what I did was I took the Evil Knight from minifigure series 13, and I pretty much really didn't change anything at all. I just used that minifigure because it looked almost exactly like him, and you can see I added this piece right here to make it look more accurate to the actual weapon, and also he has this shield right here, and the build for the horse is actually pretty much the same as the Prince we saw before, and yeah, instead of the blue saddle he has the red saddle. So that is the Dark Prince. Alright, for our next two builds we have the Mohr and the Expo. Up next we have the Pekka. Now this is my second version of the Pekka. The last one I did was a couple of years ago. This is a more modern version of it, and it is a little bit smaller, but I think it's a little bit more size accurate as well. She does have moving arms, but that's pretty much the only movability she has. You can turn her head, but it's with great difficulty. You'll have to like pull it off and change it like that. Here's the back of the Pekka, and yes, that is pretty much the Pekka. Our last two minifigures are the Golem and the Ice Wizard. Now the Golem, I have made a version of the Golem before, but it looked terrible and totally inaccurate, so I decided to redesign it. This is the full-size Golem, not the Golemite, and you'll notice that it's actually a darker color than the one I did before, and his arms are a lot more buff, and he does have little tiny little legs as always. Here is his back with the same rocky texture, and this is sort of the collar he has. Kind of funny how they did that, and also his head can turn a little bit like that, actually 360. So yeah, there is the Golem, and here we have the Ice Wizard. I'm going to show you right here, and yeah, I know this looks like lightning, but it's actually ice power. But you might be wondering what I used for his hair. This is actually the Syndrome hairpiece from the new Disney minifigures line, and you might notice that actually right here on the tips of his fingers I have painted sort of some frost right there to make him look very wintry. And so basically, yeah, there is the Ice Wizard. Our final two builds are the Goblin Barrel and the Rocket. Now, the Rocket you saw in the last video, but I didn't really get to show it to you in full detail. So I'm going to first actually talk about the Goblin Barrel first. So it was very hard to find a design for the Goblin Barrel, especially to try to make it fit a goblin. So what I had to do was I actually took two of these half barrel pieces and I tied them together with this chain. So what you can actually do with this Goblin Barrel is you can throw it, and then it'll pop open, and the goblin will be revealed in two pieces. That's the only way I can make it fit. So yeah, it can only fit one goblin in there. But yeah, that is the Goblin Barrel. And here is the Rocket. Now, it's a very simple build. This is just a sand I decided to put on it. It has this little Ninjago symbol piece. I don't know the word for it, but it basically just has these 8 tiles surrounding it, and it goes blast away, and boom, boom, boom. So there is the Rocket. And now for the moment that you all have been waiting for, it is time to take a look at the arena. And so we're going to start out with the defensive side. So this right here, we have the arena tower, which is basically the same as it has ever been, and but except it has a blue banners since it is the defensive side. And we also have the crown right there. And this is the King Tower. And I've changed the contraption so that it is a little bit smaller, more compact. So basically that is the cannon that folds out. We fold it back in, of course, and we have the blue king standing right here. If we turn this around, then you can see the king side, which is basically the same thing except it's red, and same thing with the other side. It's a lot smaller to conserve pieces, of course, and so we have the king standing right here with basically that same contraption. We can fold it up, and then the cannon is right there ready to fire at enemies. So you fold that back up, and actually on the back of these crown towers, if I show you, you'll actually see these little doors right here, these little tiny doors that I decided to put on the backs of them. And also on the back of each arena tower there is a ladder so that the archers can climb up and shoot down enemies. And finally, one thing I would like to mention is the river that flows down through the middle. On each side we have a little bridge that goes across, just like in the actual game, and we have some planks right there. So it's a very nice little river effect, and yeah, pretty simple. These is actually all tied together with 2 base plates, and the bridges are very essential to connecting the two. So anyways, that is the entire arena. Well, that concludes this mock presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making these models, especially the crown towers, and basically making the entire arena was just really fun. It looks really cool in the end, and finding a way to make multiple crown towers, not only for the red, but for the blue. It was a miracle that it actually ended up working out okay. So in the comments below, let me know what you guys think the most overpowered card is in the game. And yeah, remember to clash on, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay cool.
Did someone say Aurora?
Nope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody said Hog Rider.